Hello, you're watching Kel67 Gaming, and we're now into April, which can only mean one thing.
One thing games.
For March 2021. So another month with nothing open means that we have played a little bit on the old consoles and what have you. And I think the best place to start is the place that we always start with.
The games that we chose for
each other. And last month you chose me a game.
Yes.
You did. What was it?
I chose for you Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Which I had already been playing.
Yes, but, I thought I'd let you continue it.
I did keep playing it, and we'll have a little look to see how much further I got now. So I had another month playing Xenoblade Chronicles. You can see here, well, I don't know if you can see, because you have to remember where we were last month. But this is a new area of the map. This is the island of Bolivia. So everything's stronger here. All the enemies are much tougher. But that's not a bad thing because it's given me somewhere to grind.
Yeah, and it gives you a lot of XP.
You can see my grind in here. It's not so much the XP, it's the skill points to learn new abilities. It's quite an in-depth RPG. This you've got to upgrade like everything. Otherwise you end up like I did last time, just running into a brick wall, dead end type of thing.
Well, that's because we all know that you try and rush through things.
I'm trying not to this time. Yeah. Just shoot that in the head while it's on the ground. That's the cowardly way to do it.
A bit of cruelty there.
It would do it to me. Keeps farting. I don't know what it's farting for. Wait a minute. I'll pick a fight with another one. You'll see it keeps lifting its tail up and farting.
Well,
that seems to be its major attack.
It might be a skunk type of animal.
Did you see? Lifted its tail, had a bit of a fart. Deserves to be shot in the head while it's lying on the ground. You can see that I'm letting Elma and Lynn do all the close combat and I'll just run around the other side with my gun like a coward. Although I will also point out that I'm doing the vast majority of the damage here. And also that thing where I put the knife to my chest, that's giving them a shield so that they don't get killed when they go in. Just come in here, just smack it in the head. There we go. So as you see there, this time I'm not rushing through so that I get severely under powered.
And hit a brick wall.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll be honest with you, I'm finding it tough going because I really want to rush ahead, but I'm trying really hard not to. I have opened up extra parts of the map, so I'm getting that little bit of extra exploration and.
Well, I think as long as you don't get to a point where there's no turning back.
Well, you saw that I'm in the island of Oblivia at the minute, and there is a lot of enemies there that are quite capable of just one-shotting me.
Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm doing a little bit of grinding, a little bit of leveling up, getting my skill levels better and what have you. But it's not a place that's without any danger at all. Yeah. But it's we'll get there. We'll level up and we'll see where we'll go from there. But still enjoying the game. Always did enjoy it.
Just hopefully this time you can complete it because you don't hit a brick wall.
Hopefully I don't hit a progression brick wall on it this time. Yeah. So that was what you asked me to play.
Yes.
I asked you to play Persona 4 Golden on the Vita.
Yes. Well, this is the game that you asked me to play.
It is. And you did play it. The capture on this isn't great.
Yeah, because I played it on the PS TV.
We did. Although we couldn't have captured it off the Vita either, straight to a capture card.
Yeah,
but I was very disappointed to learn that there was copy protection on the the HDMI out on the PS TV, so we've had to just point the camera at the TV so you can see what's going on, but we're going to have to work out how to get rid of the copy protection.
Yeah. But I have played a decent amount.
You played it for a few hours.
I've played for, I think, over 9 hours or something. So, not a bad start. Considering it's a Persona game.
So how does it compare with Persona 5 that you absolutely loved?
Well, it's very similar in some ways, and then it's obviously got its differences. I think it all comes down to preference, because they're pretty much like they follow the same somewhat mechanics.
Well, of course you do, because it's the same series of games.
Yeah. So I think it all comes down to whether you like the characters more. But obviously, I've completed Persona 5, so I would probably need to complete Persona 4 to compare them.
Make short work of that.
Yeah. Now I have rescued Yukiko on there, so I do have a full party at the moment.
So is that just a grind?
Yeah. Well, it's just me waiting till I can find my next person to rescue.
Alright, okay.
So,
So the Personas, are they all different to Persona 5, or is it the same Personas?
well, some of them will be similar, some of them are different.
Alright. And just stop for a game of cards, huh?
Well, this is how you get your personas and that,
Alright.
instead of just capturing them.
I should know this, but it's ages since I've played.
Yep, and I've got a sweet bonus because I've got all of them. Which means I get a shuffle on the next battle. So it's very similar, obviously mechanical wise, because it's the same series of games, but there is obviously the differences with the characters and how they interact with each other, I've found, because I think when I rescued Yukiko, I went and tried to level up the confidence instead of like grinding a bit, which I don't know why I didn't grind for some reason, I think, but I'm still getting some progression in. I think I'm around level 20 or 21 or something,
No.
and I've got some decent personas with some decent abilities, and I've got a full party, so I'm doing quite well for the 9 hours that I've put into it.
Go keep playing it?
I think so. I
should
think
hope so.
to fully compare which one I like the best, I would have to complete it.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense.
So that's definitely something that I'm gonna have to do.
So that was all we asked each other to play, but obviously we play a lot of stuff off our own bat as well. And I've got into this monthly cycle of playing racing games.
Yes.
And this month's racing game is on the Series X, and it is Dirt 5. And I'm getting used to playing one of these racing games every month. This month is this one. This is the Series X version that I've been playing. Runs at a buttery smooth 60 FPS in 4K mode. What I've really liked about this game is it's so similar to Dirt 3, which was the last Dirt game that I really liked. I mean, I played that on everything, completely on everything. And Dirt Showdown was not very good, if we're honest. And there was a Dirt 4 wasn't very good either, and then Dirt Rally 2.0 wasn't very good either. This one's like back to form, it's a proper arcade racer.
So do you think they'll stick with this format?
I don't know. They've proven in the past that once they get it right, they like to break it. But there is one thing that does let this one down, like when you compare it to Dirt 3. There's no great variety in cars, and there's no incentive to buy them, because it gives you a competitive car for free. So
Unless there's a specific car that you like, or
yeah,
there's one that's just
exactly
a decent
that.
amount better.
Which this one actually is. This is the Peugeot 205 GTI rally car. classic car. The graphics is brilliant on it. Some of the tracks are really well designed. I mean, you see even like here the accumulation of dust, and it is just dust, so you don't get a proper mock-it car. But the accumulation of dust builds up on the back to the point where it obscures the license plate and stuff like that. It's also jobs quite good. It's also got dynamic weather on it, so just because it starts dry doesn't mean it stays dry. Just because it starts wet doesn't mean it stays wet. But you can see here there's a few little puddles. So it has been wet and is drying out now. Proper arcade racing, great arcade handling. It reminds me a lot of Sega Rally, which is kind of why I like Dirt 3.
It's on Game Pass, so
It's on Game Pass. You can see it's getting a bit wetter here, and it's not
it's starting
dust
to
on.
darken now as well.
Oh, we're changing weather conditions, but it's not dust on the back of the car now. It's mud that's getting sprayed up. And if you've also noticed, I've been doing brilliantly here. Took the lead quite early on and just kept it. Doesn't give you a racing line to follow either. So through that rally stage, I think I covered a lot of the main points there. This is for me, this is the true successor to Dirt 3,
Right.
Although it's the 4th or 5th attempt at it. But like I say, what lets it down is there's no variety of cars. There's very few to choose from, and there's no incentive to buy any because the ones that you buy are no better than the ones that you get for free anyway.
Unless it's like you get a B start for your starting one, and then you get like an S and an S.
But you don't. Because of the different classes of cars. It just doesn't work like that, and every car is as competitive as each other. Some have got slightly better handling than acceleration or top speed, but you know what? It makes little to no difference when you're actually playing it.
Unless there's a car which is extremely bad at handling.
The graphics are absolutely brilliant. The 4K 60 is just absolutely amazing. But I think we've got a big problem with the licensing. I think if they could sort out the licensing, get some cars, put some real progression into the game, because if they give you a car that you can't win easily with, and you have to grind and improve what you've got, maybe tweak the engine, and that sort of thing, that would make it a much more in-depth game. What you've got
because you can't actually upgrade the cars in this.
No, you can't.
Can only do custom paint jobs.
But I get it that it's an arcade game, and like as an arcade experience that kind of works, but there's no incentive, no replay value in it. Once you've done it, you've done it.
Yeah, I kind of get that, but I think if they do it right next time, if they do another one like that, it could definitely be something good.
Well, I hope so, because I really loved Dirt 3. Like I said over the gameplay there.
I
played it on
every simulation or something afterwards?
Well, they did, which didn't work. But Dirt 3 I played on everything, and I completed it on everything. I hate to think how many hours I sunk into that. I would have done that with this one, but there's no replay value in it. So that's what it is. So what else have you been playing?
Well, I've played a sports game this month.
Have you?
Yes, but I've been playing Madden 21's Ultimate Team. Now, I think I've made a decent team.
You think so?
Yes. Now,
So you got Michael Vick there. Does that mean you're spamming the quarterback run then?
well, no.
So you don't do quarterback runs?
I do, but
You spam them?
I don't spam them all the time.
I bloody do.
Now, before Vic, I actually had Tom Brady. So, I've had...
So you're definitely not going for the best quarterback, you're going for the best spamming runner. I get it. What was that tackle that he tried to put on you there, by the way, when you caught the ball? You just fell over at your feet.
I'm not sure.
Watch it.
Well, obviously it didn't work, did it?
I'm sure you're not supposed to have defending like that in the NFL.
Well, I think for me to obviously I haven't spent any money on this. I haven't fallen trap to the exclusive offers for leveling up. But I have made a decent team.
A couple of decent pass plays there. Oh well, there you go.
Yeah.
Straight in for the score. That was Ian Newsom.
Yeah.
He's a blast for the past. Yeah, not too bad, I guess. He did alright.
Like I said, I think I've done pretty well for the time that I've spent on it. I think I've made a decently good team. I'm constantly upgrading it, and I think the main reasons for me continuing to upgrade is because I've still got things that I want to do. I've still got positions which I need to upgrade, so it's kind of got that going for me, and I think it's definitely a more fair and more balanced way of an Ultimate Team instead of the likes of FIFA, where FIFA you kind of it's more heavily reliable.
Still a cynical cash grab though.
It still is, but you can still make really good teams. I've done that and haven't spent a penny. And I think whereas they're giving you the new player, obviously the current players and that, and you can get some decent players in that, they still try and get money off you. As every 6 levels or something, after a while, you'll get an exclusive offer for the store, and you can't get it with coins. But apart from that, I think I've done pretty well, and I've quite enjoyed my time playing it.
So you enjoyed a bit of Madden 21?
Yeah.
Well, as luck would have it, I've enjoyed a bit of Madden 21 as well. Except I've done it properly. I've played the franchise mode, and let's have a look and see how I've got on. So here's me kicking off. Well, I'm not kicking off, I'm receiving the kickoff. Start of the second half. You can see I've already got a 2-touchdown lead here in the Super Bowl. Oh, there was a little gap there. I'll just run through that. Did I tell you how awesome I am at this game? Just a little jump for joy there, and there we go. Touchdown straight off the kickoff. 94-yard touchdown return. Take that, Cleveland. No one even close.
Now you have changed what team you're playing as.
Yeah, playing as the Arizona Cardinals. Because Kyler Murray's awesome. So's DeAndre Hopkins. But if you're wondering what's happening here, I've just skipped to the end of the game. Because what do you think happened at the end of the Super Bowl?
I'm guessing you won it.
Well, of course I did. And I won it with the Cardinals. Which is something that you'll not see very often, so soak it in. Because it might never happen again in your lifetime. Now you see Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins there. Winning with an unfancied team, that's what it's about. So just like I did on Madden 20, you notice that I won the Super Bowl there.
Yeah.
Picked a new team to do it though. This time I was the Arizona Cardinals with the great 1-2 combination of Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. Anyone who watched the NFL last season will know that Arizona got nowhere near the Super Bowl. But when you know how to play, see, Arizona need to sign me. That's just how it's going to have to be. So yeah,
I'm guessing you're going to be choosing a different team for the next game then.
When 22 comes out, I don't know, I might pick someone really bad like the Texans or something like that.
But are you going to continue playing the franchise?
Nope.
Right.
Played it, won it, done. What's the point in carrying on? Do you know how I play, Martin?
Yeah.
I play a season, get it out of my system, wait for the next game. So that's where we are with Madden 21. Can be deleted off the system now for all I care.
I think we'll keep it though because I still want to play all of my teams. So.
So what else have you been up to?
Well, I've actually went quite a bit retro here, and because of a recent partnership between Microsoft and Bethesda, I have played the original Doom. Now,
Right, Johnny Retro.
I have went a bit retro here, playing the original Doom, which has went on Game Pass, and because obviously Bethesda getting the partnership and the deal with Microsoft, they've added all the re-releases pretty much. So I thought I'd go to the original one, and this is the final level of the first chapter. So they're giving you a lot of ammo for the boss. Yeah, we'll go.
See, I remember playing this back in the day. I believe on an old, was it 486 DOS machine? That's how old this thing is.
I mean, the game was released in 1993, so here we are, taking on the Barons of Hell. And there's two of them, bear in mind.
Taking a little bit of damage.
Well, they're a boss, aren't they? Now, I chose to pick up the partial invisibility at the start of the fight.
So the Captain Peg doesn't see you.
It's so that I can actually move about without taking too much damage. There you go, kill them both out. And all the walls start falling down. And at this point you're technically outside the map.
Well, you know, I can quite clearly see you still in
In
the
a
game.
sense, because when you go into the map feature, it actually shows you as being outside the lines. Yeah, look at
In the
that.
garden. You only killed a third of the enemies, that's not very good. So is this the first time that you've played the original Doom?
I've tried playing it at one point, but I think
I
what
think
we
you tried
played on
it
it,
on the Mega Drive and that's
yeah,
not a great port.
it was something like that, and it just wouldn't work or something, or it was like too dark so that you couldn't see it. But this is the first time which I've actually played it, I guess you could say, because I loaded it up, I went to play it, and then I didn't before, but this time I've actually played it, and I have actually played it through. I thought I technically have, because obviously with the re-release they've added an extra chapter, but I have played the original 3 through. So I've been all the 3 bosses, the Cyber Demon, the Spider, Arachnid Mech thing, and obviously the Barons of Hell. And it's actually a really good game, to be honest. And I think I'll move on to Doom 2 at some point. So
Yeah, enjoyed it. Like I said in the playthrough there, I remember playing this back in the day on an old DOS machine. It was mind blowing then. Doesn't look quite so mind blowing graphically now, I have to say. But I think we are like, what, 27-ish years on, something like that.
it's 28,
Is that something
because
like that?
the original Doom came out in 1993, so...
No.
There
It was
you
a
go.
long time ago anyway. It was jaw dropping at the time. It's funny watching it back. I was thinking to myself, oh, I really want to play X-Wing, because that was the 1-2 punch on the old DOS machine, X-Wing and Doom. So you went a little bit retro, and I went a little bit Retromania. So that'll be me, of course, your mate Zack Sabre Jr. And you can see that we're in Japan here against
Colt Cabana.
Colt Cabana. But of course, ZSJ, quite clearly the greatest wrestler in the game. Get the intro's out the way and let's get to giving him a kicking. So obviously what they were going for here was they were going for this game to be WrestleFest, but
Yeah.
updated. And I think they've definitely pulled that off. It's got that 90s arcade feel about it. It's very satisfying to play, I have to say.
I think how similar the actual wrestlers are to their real life is very good for it being a retro style. So
I mean, they've all got like it's not all the same moves as was on WrestleFest, because obviously the modern wrestlers don't use them.
Well, they don't use all of them.
No,
They
well,
still
there
they
is
still do use some
yeah,
of them.
there is some that's the same, and it looks like the same animations as on the original arcade game.
But,
I think they even got the license off whoever bought out the rights that Technos owned. So it's not just a spiritual successor; it actually is an official successor to
WrestleFest.
WrestleFest, which I think everyone agrees is like one of the greatest wrestling games of all time. Oh, there you go with
Stanley
Kimura.
Kimura.
You just don't get out of that. I played a bit of Retromania Wrestling.
Yeah.
Now, this is a brand new game, but it's obviously based on the WrestleFest arcade game, which came out about 1990, 1991. So it's obviously very dated graphical style, but plays absolutely brilliantly. Love this game. Can't wait for them to release more content for it.
And continue the story.
Which is apparently is on the way. So
Yeah.
we'll
I'm guessing if they're continuing the story, the DLC will probably be free.
possibly. I
But-
guess we'll find out soon enough.
But yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't an expensive game to start with. Was it? Is it on the store now for £25?
Yeah, it's constantly going up. I think because they know that there's DLC coming. So I think on the Microsoft Store that they're upping the price. It was originally 21.
Yeah.
Or something.
That's what because I got it on.
And last time I
release.
checked, it was 25. So obviously it hasn't went up by much, but it still is
It's on the
going
way
up.
up. Yeah.
So if it's anyone's thing, I'd say probably get it whilst it's low because it might still go.
Well,
up
if you're
price.
interested in that kind of game,
Yeah.
if you've played the original WWF WrestleFest game, I would say go and get it. Brilliant game, well worth every penny that I paid for it.
But on to the next game. This is one that I've played, and it's Romania Wrestling as well. Now,
Well, I can see that this has got a lot of gaming references here.
yes.
Limited run there at the back. What else do we see? We see the level 857 podcast. What else have we got in here? We've got John Riggs, Game Chasers, that CU podcast as well. But most importantly, got Jeff Cobb against
The Blue Meanie.
the Blue Meanie.
Now I'm playing as Jeff Cobb in this matchup.
A lot of Jeff Cobb's moves seem to be quite similar.
Well,
He's going to smash you over the head with, have a seat, sir. No, he's not going to.
smash him into Jay and Silent Bob's booth there.
And it makes the mat change.
Yes. And also the turnbuckles change colour.
Alright, okay.
But, yeah, the reason why some of the moves are similar is because you have to build up your momentum. And that means you get more moves the higher your momentum is. Once your ball's
I know
flashing.
that, but a lot of his different moves are still like the same.
Well, until he does that.
Well,
But, no. And there's quite a few different characters currently, with obviously more to come.
there is more DLC coming. I don't know when that's going to drop. I also don't know if it's going to be paid or free.
Yeah.
The developers of this game have actually been really quite good about sharing up everything as the
Yeah.
development's been going and what have you. So I guess we'll see what happens.
It'll go. Tour of the Islands.
That'll be all in the
And that'll be the three. But as you said, I think we've pretty much said quite a bit about it. But for me, I really have enjoyed playing it. I've played £10 of gold and everything. There's quite a variety of matches as well that you can do though, and I think the fact that there's 12 wrestlers currently, or something like
Oh,
that.
okay, I've never counted them. You're possibly right. I just think they've taken the original WrestleFest idea. They've added, like you say, new modes. There's a story mode. There's the £10 of gold mode.
There's the Retro Rumble, which you can do.
Well, there was a Royal Rumble on WrestleFest
Yeah.
as well.
And I think the fact that they've gotten now more up to date, as well as having some of the older wrestlers as well. They even have the Legion of Doom on.
No, they don't. They've got the Road Warriors
The Road
on.
Warriors.
But always the Road Warriors.
But they've got Animal and Hawk on, and they're the first two actually to choose from on the top line, if I remember correctly. But I think the fact that they've been able to do all these different wrestlers, and I think who's coming up again? It's Chris Bay and James Storm are the two.
I think there's 3 altogether.
There's an extra one as well, which I'm forgetting the name of. Shows that it's still going to get updated and it's still going to be it's going to be fresh and it's going to have a ton of replay value. I don't know. I think it's going to be a great game once it's got all its things and the story's complete. So yeah.
Well, I also, again with the retro theme, ever since getting this Evercade thing, I've been going back to older games that I haven't played for quite some time.
Is this going to be your new monthly thing, playing the game off the Evercade?
It possibly could
be. Just
be.
like racing.
But it possibly could be. I've really got into these old arcade games and whatever else is on there. And I was giving the Data East collection some love. I played a couple of games off there, so shall we have a look?
Yep.
Well, this is me going a little bit retro here. It's an old game, old Data East game. I'm sure if they'd released it in modern times, it would be called something like McDonald's Server Simulator or something like that. But here we go. I got a bit caught there. It's trickier than it looks.
Yeah.
Obviously, the idea of this is just to get all the
pieces made.
Get them down into the plates at the bottom. Easier said than done. You can see I'm having to go quite a long way around. Just crush that bean there, and just about made it past that one.
Right, first one's been made.
The trick is just to keep away from more, because you see how many there is here.
Yeah.
Because obviously this was an arcade game, so the idea of it was that you died as quickly as possible. There we go.
So that you put more money in.
Put more cash in. But it's still quite an enjoyable game, and one that I remember playing on an arcade back when it was still a current game, or a kind of current game. Just about made it past that one there again. Just living by the seat of my pants here. But you see how they all gang up on you?
Yeah.
And they'll go different ways to try and catch you out. I think I'll just about beat this one here. Oh, not this time.
But at least you made the burger.
Well, I've still got one to go though. Let's see. I don't know what the white guy is. I get that the other ones are beans, but I don't get what the white guy is. There you go. Now, back in the 90s, these puzzle games were all the rage. This is one slightly different because it's a battle puzzle game with the chibi style. Actually reminds me a lot of what was the one on the Mortal Kombat game?
Oh, the puzzle one where you'd fight in the
Puzzle Combat, was it?
Yeah, Puzzle Combat.
So basically what you're doing is you're getting all the colours together. If you make a link of 3 vertically, it'll disappear. See that darker one there, the blue darker one? If you put that in, that takes out all the blues on the screen. You see how that worked?
Yeah.
And obviously the idea of the game is, because the balls keep coming down, you've got to make sure that your opponent hits the bottom before yours does.
Or is it whoever meets the quota first?
Well, that's what it is. I think it's getting to the bottom. Like if it goes off the bottom.
Mm.
But you can see that I'm actually doing okay here. Played this a little bit. Got a little bit good of it. Each character as well has got different power-ups, so
Yeah, and different like strengths and abilities.
you can see that there's a green power-up. I've missed it there, so I'll just put that there so as not to get rid of them and then get rid of all the greens. Using that, sometimes you've got to think ahead. And when you get rid of them all, or get rid of your opponent, you win. So you say there are a couple of all-time classics, one from the 80s, one from the 90s. I think the lesser known of the two, Magical Drop 2, is definitely worth a playthrough if you like those kind of puzzlers. I know there was lots of them around at the time, as well as Tetris. You had like Columns and Dr. Mario and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and Mortal Kombat, Puzzle Combat and stuff. There's
I still think my favourite's Puyo Puyo, but Magical Drop 2, a lot of fun if you want to try that one out. And that's about it for everything that sunk some real time into over the last month. Which means we're up to that point in the video where we have to start thinking about what we might want to get each other to play next month. Yeah. Have you had any thoughts?
Well, I think with it being something that came out recently for Game Pass, I think I'm going to let you continue. So once you've started, I'm going to let you play Octopath Traveler.
No, that's good. That suits me because I was going to play it anyway.
So I think you should just continue that and let's see how far you can get in a month, eh?
No, we shall see. Pretty much along the same theme. I'm going to let you continue on with something that you've been playing. I want you to play Persona 4 Golden some more. See if you can get to the end of that.
I don't think I'll get to the end of it, but I'll definitely get further into it because I sank over 100 hours in Persona 5. It's going to be around the same for Persona 4, so we'll have to see how far I can get.
Well, you'll have to play it then, won't you?
Well.
But that's just about it for this month's monthly game, or last month's monthly games, because we're in April now. So we'll just leave it there. If you haven't already,
give us a like, a share and a subscribe, and turn the notification bell so you can find out when we upload, and we will see you in the next video.